What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and if you're like me, you were probably a little caught off guard with how the presidential debate went.
I would say this is a left-wing, radical left. Will you shut up, man? Listen, back to court. I'm not going to give a list.
The only reason I've decided to talk about this is if I had to pick one word to describe this presidential debate, it would have been confrontation. It was probably the most confrontational debate that we have ever seen in America's history. And that is a very bold statement, but that is the reason that I decided to react to this debate as a door-to-door salesman, because I've had the opportunity to knock thousands of doors and train thousands of sales reps on how to handle confrontation. And so I'm gonna share a couple tips and tricks that had either Biden or Trump used, they would have absolutely wrecked their competitor. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. Now, to get started, if you're worried that I'm about to get political on my channel, you couldn't be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do everything in my power to get to the end of this video and have you wondering, man, I have no idea who Chandler is going to vote for, because I want to stay very in the middle and just analyze the verbal, paraverbal, and nonverbal communication. And I'm not gonna watch the whole debate. I'm not gonna dive into the nitty-gritty details. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure you push the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, and let me know in the comments, because if you want, I will break down the entire debate. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. And just to build your trust in me and my opinion on this, I want to share a little example with you. Now, about 5 years ago, I was out knocking doors selling pest control. And just to give you an idea, when you're out selling pest control, the majority of people say no. I mean, you're getting a lot of no's. However, a lot of times, you get really bad no's. We're talking hard F-bombs, losing their minds, swearing at you, attacking your mother, attacking your future children. People are heartless when you knock on their door and they don't want you there. And because of that, I've had the opportunity to deal with a lot of confrontation. Now, one example I'm gonna share with you is someone that came out, dropped the F-bomb multiple times, and within the course of 5 minutes, I went from having the F-bomb dropped to me closing them and getting their credit card and signing them up for pest control. However, that's not the first example I'm going to share with you. The first example is a very different one. Getting my face smashed in. One of those days where I felt like the whole world hated me, and I got to a door and the guy answered, and right off the bat he said, "What the heck are you doing on the property?" And I said, "Well, my name's Chandler. I'm here selling pest control." I did my little pitch. Immediately, he cut me off and he stuttered. He went, you piece of you know what on me. All right, I'm not gonna say it on YouTube. But he swore at me and it hurt my soul. It was a painful attack. I just wasn't in the mood. My pride got in the way. And so instead of doing what I'm going to train you to do and what Biden or Trump should have done, and they would have wrecked it in the debate, I'm gonna show you what I feel like Biden and Trump both did. I attacked back and I did it with an insult. He just said, you piece of and I said, I'm sorry, sir. And then I turned around and walked away. Now, I left him in silence. He was stunned. He didn't know what to do. I wrecked him. But here's the reality. He then slammed the door. I walked away. My night was ruined. Didn't get another sell because I felt terrible about myself. And he couldn't have felt a whole lot better because I made a total fool out of him. Now here's the deal. That was a lose-lose situation. He felt miserable. I felt miserable. It messed up my mojo the entire rest of the day. And honestly, still to this day, years and years later, I feel terrible about the way that I acted. Now, did he deserve it? Probably. He was a total jerk. It wasn't something he needed to do. I wasn't being rude. I was being very respectful. And he came out and dropped a ton of swear words, insulted me, and was a total jerk. And so he deserved that insult. However, that insult did neither one of us any good. Now, this is a very basic principle. This is something you cover from first grade Actually, this is something you cover well before first grade. I've got a 3-year-old and we cover this with him, that you shouldn't insult, you shouldn't attack. You shouldn't do that because it doesn't do anyone any good. And it's just not nice. But in this presidential debate, we had one candidate call the other candidate a clown.
It's hard to get any word in with this clown.
And we had one candidate insult the other for being the dumbest kid in his class.
You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me.
I mean, we literally have 2 presidential candidates that in the course of an hour and a half totally attacked each other with insults you would hear in the first grade.
He's the racist.
You just don't.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this than you do.
Let him you do it over
because you weren't president screwing things up.
By
The
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Now, I'm sure there are some people out there that will say, oh, Chandler, but this candidate totally smoked the other one, or this one got him, he totally showed him. And what I will say to you is awesome. Good for you. You should be very proud that you are picking a candidate because they're good at one-liners to smoke the competition. Now, that's as far as I'm going to go, but my point is that doesn't accomplish anything.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it?
That doesn't get people that don't like you to like you. That doesn't get you anywhere in the conversation. That doesn't get you to any substance. All it does is bring both of you lower. And so the reason I shared my example is I truly believe the debate was very similar to the interaction I had on the doors, where neither one of us won. Now, did I get the last word? Did I get to feel good for half a second because I had showed him? Yeah, I did. That was awesome. But immediately I recognized that nobody won. But if I would have used the skills that I have and that I trained my sales reps to use, who knows? I could have taken this guy that was attacking me. I could have turned him into someone that was willing to listen to me, and I could have gotten the sale. And I think the same is true for both presidential candidates. And so I'm going to share a couple steps that I think had either one of them followed, they would have grabbed the frame of the conversation. And if you don't know what I mean, when you grab the frame, you control the conversation, and everyone in the room knows it. We all know the bully at school that picks on someone. And anytime someone tries to pick on him back, they lose. But if they take the higher ground, they always win. And it is so hard.
That everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. Everybody knows he's a liar.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
You're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
When you get in a screaming match, it's borderline impossible to take the higher ground because you become emotional. However, if you can learn to keep your emotions out of confrontation and use these tricks, I promise you, you will control the conversation, and it doesn't matter how rude or how attacking or how just over the top your competitor is. I promise you, everyone else who is in the room is going to know who has the power and who has the control. Here's what they should have done, and here's what you should do if you ever run into confrontation. First of all, there's a principle called mirroring. Now, what mirroring is one person tries to do the same verbal, paraverbal, and nonverbals as the person that they're talking to. You can see a great example of mirroring in this debate.
He would know a suburb unless he took a wrong turn.
Oh, I know suburbs.
He would not.
So much
I was
better.
raised.
I would love to end it.
Sir,
I would love to end it. and
You know,
we
if
would
you want to
very-
switch seats,
we could very quickly.
We could do that.
One person raises their voice, and so another person raises their voice, and the third person raises their voice, and now everyone's voice is raised. Everyone is using the same tone, the same pitch. It's becoming more and more aggressive. Now, when you control a conversation and you can change the tone and hold to it, you force others to mirror you. And when you can get to the point where you force other people to mirror you, you are controlling the conversation. And if you want to be in total control of any conversation, you lower your voice, you slow down your speed, and you make sure that you are down pitching. Now, the reason that this works, and I have tried it on multiple groups where I'll be walking through a neighborhood, I'll walk up and I'll get attacked by multiple people saying, "What are you doing in the neighborhood? We don't need you here." And people will kind of gang up. Like, it's crazy. The mob mentality is real, where multiple neighbors will buckle down and attack you. Where if you slow down, you smile and you say, hey, how are you? Good, sorry, not meaning to interrupt. If they say, look, you're a scumbag, you need to get off the street. Sure, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'll be super quick. And you go into it. If you can keep a smile, if you can keep a positive tone, if you can not get sarcastic, and you can make sure that you down pitch at the end of your voice so that you're not talking like this, where you're insecure, but you're talking like this, where you control the conversation and you're confident, I promise you, that group of people will slow down. They will match you. They will mirror you. It doesn't matter how aggressive they are. If you do this right, they're going to calm down at least a little bit. I have had so many people where they'll come to the door and say, what the heck are you doing out here? Get off my effing property. And you're going to say, sure, I'll be super quick. I'm just giving you the heads up. I'm here because I'm taken care of. And you're going to go into it. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are saying, Chandler, this is so much different than the debate. The debate doesn't work that way. This isn't on the door. Well, guys, here's the deal. It is, all right? I think what happens in a debate is you get into a screaming match trying to persuade your audience and forgetting the other party.
Of Obamacare, I got rid of it.
I'd like
and we will protect
Mr.
people
President,
with
I'm the moderator of this debate. Gentlemen, you say that's the end of it? This is the end of this debate?
Honest ballot count.
We're going to leave it there.
Where if you can control the other party, the other person you're communicating with, if you can control their tone, their speed, their pitch, if you can always appeal to higher motives, if anytime you were attacked, you say, look, I understand why you might feel that way. However, this is what you should probably know, and this is why. And then you present an argument where you're not getting emotional. They can continue to scream if they want, and you listen to them. You make eye contact, you don't laugh, you don't get sarcastic, and you wait until they finish. They run out of stuff to say, and when they do, then you say, look, I'm sorry you feel that way. Here's why I believe that this is the correct point. And I promise you, if either candidate would have done that, everyone in the audience would have said, holy cow, this one is acting like a child. This one continues to keep his cool. Now, when you're being insulted, when you're being attacked, when you're being called names, it is so hard to not fire back. But what you need to recognize is anytime that is happening, the other person is feeling the same way towards you. And so if you escalate it, you're never going to get anywhere. And this is one of the reasons that I hate watching political arguments between two opposite parties that are on far ends of the spectrum, even when they're friends or family, because then it doesn't become about the issues. It becomes about who can scream the loudest, who can be more aggressive, who can take the better personal attack, and both parties end up in the basement. My dad has a phrase, a race to the basement, and maybe somebody trademarked that before him. But if you go that direction, no one wins. Now, at the end of the day, you can say, oh, he got him good with this insult, or he got him good with this attack. But no one has control. No one looks presidential. No one looks like someone you would want to follow, because deep down, even though you say, that's my pick, that's the guy I want to follow, in your heart, you're saying, man, I wish they wouldn't have acted this way. I know they're a better person than that. Every person in both parties truly believes that they're doing what's right. All right? Whether they are or they're not, in their heart, they believe that they're doing something out of integrity. They believe that they're doing something because they care and because they want to be a good person. If you look at this debate and you were to take either one of them and have them not insult the other one or raise their voice in a rude way or take a sarcastic tone the entire conversation while the other one continued to throw insults, I promise you they would have won even if their points were off, because people trust that. They trust you talking slowly and confidently and down pitching and not feeling attacked, but being confident in your position. The second one of them went to insults, had the other one just held off, either one of them, and not insulted at all the entire time, I promise you, everyone in the room would have said, wow, he has more willpower. he has more confidence. He has more self-control, and he is a guy that I think should run a country. He's a guy that I'm not worried about losing his temper and doing something out of emotion rather than what's best for our country. And for any of you out there that disagree with me, for any of you that are saying, no, whoever insulted him best, they should win, they're the guy I should vote for, I think you need to reevaluate. Not because I think you should pick one party or the other, but because the world progresses better when you have more people that are willing to keep a calm head and act not out of emotion, but out of what's best for them and the other parties involved. And so going into the next debate, I really hope that one of these men decides to be the bigger person. Because the thing that hurt me the very most about the debate is I've got a 3-year-old son, and when I looked over and I looked in his eye, he was stressed. He had anxiety. He was worried because he could tell what was happening on the television wasn't a conversation. It wasn't a debate, but it was a fight. And had either one of them took control by being a bigger person and by calming down their voice, slowing down, doing these things I've talked about, I promise you, whether you agree with their policy or not, they would have controlled the conversation and won the debate. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell. And if you didn't enjoy this video, let me know why in the comments. And if you would like me to tear down all of the verbal, paraverbal, and nonverbal communication of this debate and talk about where each of them could have interjected or changed or what they did wrong or what they could have done right, I will gladly do that. Let me know in the comments, even though it was a freaking gong show for the majority of it. And so I'll just pick out the parts where I think I actually have something to offer other than saying, hey, stop yelling at each other. So again, if you enjoyed the video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos where my goal is to help you build a huge passive income. And I promise you, using these skills and avoiding confrontation is going to help you close more deals and progress your financial situation, whether it's in real estate or anything else. So thank you so much and have a great day.